The Worm Man. Dr. Elias Calder, a man of science, harbored an obsession. His fascination was not with the grand mysteries of the cosmos or the complexities of human anatomy, but with something far more humble and often overlooked. His colleagues found it unsettling. They whispered behind his back, questioning his sanity and the purpose of his peculiar studies. Worms, those humble burrowers of the earth, were his life's work. He spent countless hours observing their movements, their habits, their very essence. Not their biology, no. Calder sought something more profound, something ancient and unsettling. He believed that within their simple forms lay a connection to the past, a link to the very origins of life on Earth. He believed worms held a secret that could unlock the mysteries of time and existence itself, a secret buried beneath layers of soil and time. Calder was convinced that the answers he sought were hidden deep within the earth, waiting to be unearthed. A secret whispered on the wind and etched in ancient stone. He believed that the very earth itself held the key to understanding these creatures. He sought the origins of their ceaseless crawling, the echoes of a primal hunger that resonated within their writhing forms. This hunger, he believed, was a clue to something far greater. Calder's pursuit led him to scour ancient texts, to delve into forgotten folklore. He travelled far and wide, seeking any hint or clue that could further his understanding. He sought whispers of worms unlike any other, creatures that defied the natural order, that burrowed through more than just soil. Worms that burrowed not through earth but through stone, through time itself. These were the creatures that haunted his dreams and fueled his relentless quest. His obsession grew, consuming him. He became a shadow of his former self, driven by a need to uncover the truth. It whispered to him in the dead of night, tugged at him with an unseen force. The more he discovered, the more he felt the weight of the unknown pressing down on him. It led him finally to a place where the whispers grew louder, to a desolate island shrouded in mist and mystery. Here, he hoped, he would find the answers that had eluded him for so long. Kalayaka, a name whispered in fear by sailors, a dark smudge on ancient maps. The island beckoned Calder with promises of forgotten knowledge. A shroud of mist clung to the island, obscuring it from prying eyes. The air hung heavy, thick with the smell of salt and decay. The island seemed to breathe, a living entity exhaling an ancient, unsettling energy. The islanders, weathered and wary, spoke of the caves. They told tales of light seen flickering within, of strange chanting echoing from the depths. They warned Calder away, their eyes filled with a primal fear that chilled him to the bone. He pressed on, undeterred. The whispers in his mind urged him forward, promising revelations hidden within the island's heart. Each step deeper into the island's embrace felt like a descent into a nightmare. The caves of Kalayaka were a labyrinth of twisting tunnels and echoing chambers, a subterranean realm untouched by sunlight. These caves had been formed over millennia, their walls bearing the marks of ancient geological processes. The deeper one ventured, the more the air seemed to thicken, as if the weight of the earth above was pressing down, creating an almost palpable sense of isolation. The air hung heavy and damp, thick with the smell of mildew and something ancient and organic. It was as if the very essence of the earth had seeped into the atmosphere, creating a unique, almost otherworldly scent that clung to everything. Calder, his lamp casting flickering shadows, felt a thrill course through him. Each step he took echoed in the vast emptiness, a reminder of the solitude and the unknown that lay ahead. The light from his lamp danced on the walls, revealing glimpses of the cave's hidden secrets. This was it. This was the place whispered of in ancient texts. The legends spoke of a hidden world beneath the surface, a place where the boundaries between reality and myth blurred. This was where he would find his answers, the culmination of years of research and countless expeditions, all leading to this moment. He had sacrificed much to get here, and now the truth was within his grasp. And then he saw them. Glowing worms, their luminescence casting an eerie green light pulsed within the cavern walls. These creatures were unlike anything he had ever seen, their glow creating an almost magical atmosphere. They burrowed not through earth, but through solid stone. Their movements were slow and deliberate, as if they were carving out their own paths through the rock. They pulsed with an unnatural light, a beacon in the oppressive darkness. The glow seemed to ebb and flow, creating a mesmerizing pattern that drew Calder in. He had found them, the worms of his obsession, creatures seemingly defying the natural order. They were the key to understanding the mysteries of this subterranean world. Excitement warred with apprehension in his chest. He had found what he sought, but at what cost? The discovery was monumental, but it also raised questions about the unknown dangers that might lurk in these depths. The thrill of discovery was tempered by the realization of the risks involved. Days turned into weeks as Calder lost himself in his research. He meticulously documented the worms' behavior, their strange luminescence, their impossible burrowing. He was driven, consumed by his need to understand. Sleep became a fleeting visitor, food an afterthought. The whispers in his mind grew louder, more insistent. He noticed changes in himself, an echoing emptiness within, a growing detachment from the world he knew. His dreams became filled with writhing forms, with whispers in a language he couldn't understand but felt deep within his bones. He felt a strange kinship with the worms, a connection that both fascinated and terrified him. They were a part of him now, and he, it seemed, a part of them. The line between obsession and madness blurred. Calder's humanity seemed to fade, replaced by something cold and alien. He scratched at his skin, convinced he could feel them moving beneath it. He saw the glowing worms everywhere, pulsing in the darkness, beckoning him deeper into the island's heart. They were no longer subjects of study. They were a part of him, and he a part of them. His features grew gaunt, his skin taking on an unhealthy pallor. His eyes, once filled with the light of discovery, now burned with an unsettling intensity. He spoke less, his words disjointed, his thoughts scattered. He was no longer the man who had first set foot on the island. The worms had taken root within him, their essence seeping into his very being, twisting him into something monstrous. The villagers found him weeks later, a husk of a man, raving incoherently. He spoke of ancient beings, of a consciousness that stretched back eons, of a hunger that gnawed at the edges of reality. He spoke of the worms as prophets, as harbingers of a coming transformation. His words were the ramblings of a madman, yet they carried a chilling conviction. They tried to restrain him, to bring him back from the abyss he had fallen into, but it was no use. The worms had him, his body contorted, his screams echoing through the village, a symphony of madness and despair. They bound him, locked him away in a desperate attempt to contain the horror they had unearthed. But it was too late. The island itself was changing. The earth began to tremble, a low rumble that grew louder with each passing second. Fissures snaked across the once solid ground, splitting it open like a fragile shell. The cracks spread rapidly, creating a web of destruction. The sea churned violently, the waves crashing against the shore with unnatural ferocity. It was as if the ocean itself was rebelling against the land. The islanders, their faces etched with terror, knew their home was doomed. They fled in all directions, seeking safety from the relentless onslaught of nature. The whispers in the deep had become a deafening roar, heralding an ancient and terrible awakening. The sea's roar was a harbinger of doom, a warning that something monstrous was rising. The island shuddered, its foundations crumbling as something vast and unknowable stirred beneath its surface. The ground heaved and buckled, unable to withstand the immense forces at play. The ground split open, swallowing homes and people alike. Sinkholes formed without warning, devouring everything in their path. The sea surged inland, claiming what little remained. The ocean's advance was relentless, a tidal wave of destruction that left nothing in its wake. And then, with a final earth-shattering groan, Kalayaka vanished beneath the waves. The island was swallowed whole, disappearing into the depths of the ocean. The island was gone, swallowed by the depths, its existence erased from the maps. Where once there was land, now there was only the empty expanse of the sea. But the horror didn't end there. The sea, now calm, held secrets that would haunt those who dared to venture near. Whispers began to circulate among sailors, tales of glowing worms seen writhing in the churning waters where Kalayaka once stood. These eerie lights were a reminder of the island's fate, tales of strange lights flickering beneath the waves, and of whispers, faint but unmistakable, carried on the wind. The sea seemed alive with a malevolent presence, whispers that spoke of a hunger that could never be satiated, of a darkness spreading from the depths. The ocean's depths held a darkness that was both ancient and insatiable, a force that would never rest.